Good afternoon, students. You are welcome to GSP 1201-2201 Use of English for Faculty of Law, Group F. This is Dr. Ijoma Paulette Ezuruike from Department of English and Literary Studies, Faculty of Arts and Islamic Studies, Bayero University, Kano. This is a first semester course in 2021 and 2022 session. This is the fifth module, Spoken English, and this topic will examine the speech organ, the vowel and consonant sounds, the place and manner of articulation, the minimal pairs, the syllable structure and consonant clusters, stress and intonation. Here we have a diagram of the speech organ, or what we can also call the vocal tract. Here we can see the parts from the neck to the face, which help in sound production. The parts of the speech organ includes lips, the upper and the lower lips, the upper and the lower teeth, the tongue, which is divided into the front part of the tongue, the back, and the blade. We have the uvula, the glottis, the alveolar ridge, the hard palate, and the soft palate, which is also known as the velum. Each of these parts articulate or come in contact with another to produce a distinct sound. Each of the sounds produced are either consonant sound or vowel sound. We are going to look at the consonant and the vowel sounds. The International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, is the alphabetic system which contains all the phonetic symbols of the world languages. The sound system includes consonant and vowel sounds. The consonant sound. English has 24 distinct consonant sounds which are distinct from the 21 letters of the English alphabet. The table below presents the 24 consonant sounds and their manner of articulation, that is, how the sounds are produced, as well as their place of articulation, that is, the parts that come in contact to produce the sounds. It also shows the voicing feature, that is, whether a sound is voiced or voiceless. Here we have the 24 consonant sounds. First, we have the plosives or stops. The plosives include pa, ta, ka as the voiceless sounds, and ba, da, ga as the voiced sounds. The pa and ba are bilabial sounds. Examples: pin and bean. The ta and da are alveolar plosives. Example: tin, din. Ka and ga are velar plosives. Example: cap, gap. We have the fricatives. We have f and v, where the f is a voiceless fricative are labiodental, while v is a labiodental voiced fricative. We have words like fan and van. We have the interdental fricatives. These are sounds like f and the. Example, thin and then. We have the alveolar fricatives, s and s. Example, su and zoo. We have the alveopalatal fricatives. These are sh and j. Example, shoe and measure. We have the palatal fricative. The palatal fricative we have is year, as in yes. And finally, we have the glottal fricative sound, where we have a word like hat. Another type of sound is the affricates. English has two affricates, ch and j. These are also known as alveopalatal affricates. We have words like tune and June. We have the bilabial nasals. We have a word like man. The alveolar nasal, as in name, and the velar nasal, as in sung. Finally, we have the laterals. English has three laterals. The bilabial lateral, we, as in will. Alveolar lateral, l, as in leaf. And alveolar lateral, as in r, red. Manner of articulation. Manner of articulation shows how sounds are produced. In English, we have 6 manners of articulation. 1, we have the stops or the plosives. As we have seen in the table, you can refer back to the table. The stops or plosives is a manner of articulation where sound is produced by a complete stopping of the air stream and a sudden release of the trapped air. The fricatives. This is a manner of articulation where sounds are produced by almost blocking the air stream and pushing the air through the narrow opening. By pushing the air through, a type of friction sound is produced, and the produced sounds are called fricatives. Affricates. The manner of articulation of affricate sounds is produced by a brief stopping introduced by a plosive followed by an obstructed release, which results in some friction. So we say that an affricate is made up of a plosive and a affricative. We have nasal. The manner of articulation of nasal sounds is produced by lowering the velum and following the air stream to flow out through the nose to produce the nasal sound. That means The pass through the mouth is shut while the opening through the nose is left open for air to pass through, whereby sound is produced through the nasal. Laterals. The manner of articulation of lateral sound is produced when the airstream proceeds along the sides of the tongue, but the air is blocked by the tongue, preventing it from going through the middle of the mouth. Place of articulation. By place of articulation, we look at the parts of the vocal parts which come together to produce a particular sound. One, we have the bilabials. Bilabials are produced by the coming together of the upper and lower lips. The lips may get close as in man, pay, or they may be apart as in way. Labiodentals. Labiodental sounds are produced through the articulation of the upper teeth and the lower lip. Dentals. Dental sounds are produced by placing the tongue tip behind the upper front teeth. Interdental. This is sometimes applied to describe a manner of pronunciation with the tongue tip between the upper and the lower teeth. Alveolus. Alveolar sound is produced with the articulation of the front part of the tongue placed on the alveolar ridge. You can refer to the diagram to see these parts. Alveopalatals. These are produced by placing the tongue at the very front of the palate, which is near the alveolar ridge. Velars. The production of velar sound is done by placing the back of the tongue against the velum or the soft palate. Glottal. This is produced without the action of the tongue and the other parts of the mouth. The sound is produced in the glottis, a space between the vocal cords and the larynx. The vowel sound. The vowel sounds differ from the consonant sounds in terms of airflow obstruction. In the production of consonant sounds, air is partially or totally obstructed before the release, whereas in the production of vowel sounds, there is no obstruction of air at all. The vowel sounds are divided into monophthongs, also called pure vowels, diphthongs, also called glides. The monophthongs are further divided into short vowels and long vowel sounds. The pure vowel sounds. English has 7 short vowel sounds, and IPA examples are also shown in words. The long vowel sounds. English has 5 long vowel sounds, and we have the examples from IPA shown in words. The English diphthong or glides. The English diphthong vowels have two symbols because they are made up of two vowel sounds. In other words, diphthong vowels are two short vowels joined together. They are also called double vowels. They are also called glides because in the production of diphthongs, there is a glide from the first sound to the second sound. Many non-native speakers make some English diphthong vowels as single vowels. English has 8 diphthongs, and we have some of the examples from IPA. Minimal pairs. This is a concept in phonology. Minimal pairs are pairs of words in a particular language which differ in only one phonological element and have distinct meanings. They are used to demonstrate that two sounds are two separate phonemes in the language. Here are some examples of minimal pairs on table 2. For example, we have the word pin and bean. We see that the two words look alike except in one position where the first one has a p sound and the second one has a b sound. But the vowel and the final sound remain the same. We also see them in rot and lot, thigh and thigh, seal and zeal. Now we understand that these words differ only in their initial consonant sounds. The second set of words differ in their medial position sounds, where we have the vowels. We have words like bin and bean, pen and pan, cook and cook, heart and hurt. And we have the last set of words which differ in their final consonants. We have words like head and head, meme and mean. The syllable. This is also another concept. A syllable is a group of one or more sounds which forms a single unit of speech. The essential part of a syllable is a vowel sound, which may be preceded or followed by a consonant or a cluster of consonants. This means that the essential part of a syllable is the vowel sound. A syllable can be preceded by a consonant and or followed by a consonant. A syllable can also be preceded by a cluster of consonants or followed by a cluster of consonants. In English, a syllable usually contains an obligatory vowel sound with or without consonants, thereby forming either a whole word or are part of a word. Also, in English, some syllables consist of just one vowel sound, as in I, O. A syllable can consist of a vowel preceded by one consonant. We have a C, V, where the C represents consonant and V represents vowel, as in pie, or can be preceded by two consonants, where we have CCV, as in try, or preceded by three consonants, where we have CCCV, as in spray. The vowel of the syllable may also be followed by one consonant. Here we have VC, as in earth, or by two consonants, VCC, as in eats, or by three consonants, as in CVCCC, as in texts, or by four consonants, as in CVCCCC, in words like texts. Types of syllable. We have two types of syllables: open syllable and closed syllable. An open syllable is when a syllable consists of a vowel only, or where the vowel is preceded by a consonant. That means a syllable is described as an open syllable where it has only a vowel or has initial consonant or consonants. That means we have structures like V, CV, CCV, or CCCV. A syllable is closed when the vowel is closed in by a consonant or consonants. Example, we have VC, CVC, VCC, CVCCC, CCVC, and so on. The difference between an open syllable and a closed syllable is that an open syllable can be either as vowel or a consonant and vowel. That means the consonant comes before the vowel. Whereas in a closed syllable, consonant sound comes after the vowel to close in the vowel sound. Parts of a syllable. A syllable has three parts: the onset, the nucleus or peak, and coda. The onset and the coda are consonants that appear at the beginning and at the end of the syllable, respectively. This means the onset is the initial syllable, while the coda is the final syllable. The nucleus forms the core or the peak of the syllable. It is always a vowel. It is also called the peak. In the word cat, C-A-T, for example, C is the syllable onset, R is the nucleus, and T is the coda. A syllable does not necessarily have to have an onset or a coda depending on the language, but a nucleus is always present. Example, up, UP, up. Up has a nucleus and a coda, whereas car has an onset and a nucleus. We have terms like monosyllabic and polysyllabic. Monosyllabic words have one syllable. Example, car, sick, book, cook. While polysyllabic words have more than one syllable. Example, bottle, which has two syllables, falcon has two syllables, syllable has three syllables, and nationalize has four syllables. Syllabic consonant. A syllabic consonant is a consonant that forms a syllable on its own. Where there is a syllabic consonant, a consonant in the nucleus is the nucleus instead of a vowel. Some consonants such as ni, l, ra are examples of monosyllabic consonants. In the word rhythm, button, battle, we see that we have monosyllabic consonants. We also have the word funnel. Funnel has a monosyllabic consonant. So where the consonants m, n, l, and ra are used in words, sometimes they form the monosyllabic consonants. These are represented with a diacritic under those consonants. Consonant cluster. A consonant cluster in a word is a group of consonants in a syllable with no vowels between them. Example, CCV, CCCV, VCCC, VCCC, and so on. The longest possible cluster in English is 3 consonant sounds at the initial or the start. Example, splash. And 4 consonant cluster at the end, as in 12ths. Stress and intonation. In phonology, stress is the relative emphasis or prominence given to a certain syllable in a word or to a certain word in a phrase or sentence. That emphasis is typically caused by features such as increased loudness, vowel length, vowel quality, and changes in tone. Stress is placed in a word or on a part of a word with more than one syllable. Wrong stress placement on a word results to wrong pronunciation or meaning. Example, tiger, dangerous, enjoyable, declare, career, mature, accountant, global. There are two main types of stress: the primary stress and the secondary stress. The primary stress is also called strong stress. Every monosyllabic word has a primary stress. Secondary stress. This is also known as weak stress. A secondary stress is found in polysyllabic words after the main stress is used. Example, accountant. The main stress is indicated with the sign as shown here before the k, while the second stress comes before the initial t, as we can see in the transcription. Intonation. Intonation and stress are closely linked. They go hand in hand. Intonation is about how we say things rather than what we say, the way the voice rises and falls when speaking. Just as words have stressed syllables, sentences have regular patterns of stressed words. In addition, the voice tends to rise, fall, or remain flat depending on the meaning or feeling we want to convey. For example, surprise, anger, interest, boredom, or gratitude. This is the end of Module 5. I hope you enjoyed the topic. Feel free to drop your questions and click to view and listen to Module 6 lecture. Thank you.